And there he is. JoJo Romero, fourth round pick in 2016. This year, played 12 games as a rookie, pitched in 10 innings, 10 strikeouts, and here he is now. IG live at 5. Man, how you doing?
Good yourself. Thank you for having me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh, goodness. Check 1, check 2. Check IG live. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, since you didn't hear my intro for you, I'm going to do it again, damn it. Fourth round, you played 12 games as a rookie this year, pitched 10 innings, had 10 strikeouts. JoJo Romero from the Philadelphia Phillies. How you doing, man?
Good yourself. Thank you for having me.
Good, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, obviously, Romero family represent. Been following you since, you were little. Obviously, much love to your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, everybody. But just ask you a couple questions and then let you back to your life. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool, man. So, obviously, you played a few years in the minors. What was it like on draft day, man? When you heard your name get called on draft day? Tell me about that feeling. Tell everybody about that feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it was something you wait your whole life for. Played a couple years college, came from, got drafted out of a junior college, so I didn't really expect to get drafted out of there. Figured it was kind of a stepping stone to where, I want to be in the next year.
Right.
And, that year just ended up being a really good year. We made a good run. We won a ring that year. And so after kind of all that, I let all that sink in. I mean, it was like, okay, this could probably happen. And so I think the first day, it's usually just the first round of the draft. Didn't expect much to happen, but, we always tuned in. And then, the second day, we're at my aunt's house and, we get a call that, hey, you could be a good chance you get drafted today. Okay, cool. So, just waiting, second, third round go by, nothing. And then finally, or at the end of the third round, I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 picks before the end of the round, I get a call from my agent just saying like, hey, how does, this sound? Like, sounds great. He's like, well, be ready. They're going to call your name. And I was like, okay. And, just being able to hear your name called, and it was awesome. My parents were there, my family. So it was pretty cool.
It had to be, man. Of course. I mean, obviously, working your whole life for that, that's like a dream come true. But I'm pretty sure just like for you and just like your dad would say, now the work begins. Now the work begins. So a couple years in the minors, you know what I mean? You bounced around a couple different AA, AAA, single A clubs. So tell me about the moment that you got called to go to the show, to go to the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, this year obviously was a little different. No minor league season, but they was about 30 some of us at an alternate site. So it happened to be our AAA stadium. Just getting your reps in, making sure everything's tuned up for when that opportunity did come. And me and, a couple other teammates, we were actually at dinner and watching the game, obviously. We had some friends that were up there as well. And so, we're eating dinner. I think the game was almost over. If it wasn't over, I can't remember exactly where the point at was in the game. But, eating dinner, having a few drinks and, get a call like, okay, like it was our farm director. And so I'm like, I showed them. They're like, what? And they're like, you better answer. And so I get up, I answer, and tells me, hey, just want to inform you, we're calling you up. And I mean, from then it was like, okay, like it's pretty cool. You don't have to worry about going and packing my stuff up. And obviously called my parents right away. And then, yeah, love that.
I want to make sure I represent, as you were saying.
Yeah, I started packing up, and I mean, I packed up really. That was probably the fastest I've ever packed up a room before. And after I got done packing, I mean, I had to go to the field tomorrow, or it would have been the next afternoon because it was already night. And I mean, I packed everything up, and I was just laying in bed. I mean, I was waiting for it to be the next day, so it was pretty cool.
So when you got called up, it took a couple days for you to come out the bullpen, right? How many days did it take?
So I
Because it
went
felt
up
like forever for
for
me. And I'm sure
yeah,
like
no,
your family, you
mean,
know what I mean? Like we're watching and trying to monitor, just waiting. So when you got
yeah,
called in, like what was that?
yeah. I mean, it took. So I went up for 3 days for a series, didn't get in, and then went down to throw at the alternate site the next day, and then the next day after that, or to the next day or the second day after that, I got called back up again, and from that point, it took 8 or 9 days. I think it was about 9 days, and then until I finally got to go in, and we were on a lopsided end of a game, so we were losing by a lot, and we went to our bullpen in the fourth inning, I want to say, and from there on, I was like, okay, probably a good chance. Started getting up, moving around the bullpen, making sure I was ready, and once the end of the sixth inning came around, everyone just kind of like looked at me like, hey, be ready. Like this, you're probably gonna get a shot here.
Right.
So we're looking for a clean inning, and the eighth inning or end of was the seventh, the bottom half of the seventh, no, top half of the eighth. There we go, top half of the eighth. They called down, hey, get JoJo going, and everyone was all excited in the bullpen, like it's happening. So it's pretty cool.
So so tell us about it, man. Because I saw your dad when he filmed it on Facebook, and so I'll talk about that after you tell us how it felt just walking out, running out to the mound, that feeling of finally stepping on the rubber for the first time as a Major League Baseball player. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, warming up in the bullpen, I was kind of nervous at first because everyone was hyping it up as well. Everyone got excited, so I got excited. And then after a couple warm-up pitches in the bullpen, I mean, it just felt like I was getting ready to throw for another game. And then, once that door opened up, I wish there was fans there, but, obviously it was a little different. But, I mean, it was still crazy, the big stadium, bright lights. I mean, once the gate opened, I stepped foot on the field. It was like, whoa. Like, the field seemed a lot bigger than what it was. And I felt like it took me forever to get to the mound. And then by the time, like in a blink of an eye, I was already on top of the mound. I was like, wow, that happened fast.
Wow.
And then, so, I mean, just warming up, felt like I was throwing all the way from the outfield. So it was a little nervous warming up. But, I mean, after that first pitch, it was that kind of like sigh of relief, and that was able to take a deep breath and settle in right away.
Like, really quick, for those that, I mean, hardly anybody's seen except like the family and, the people that do follow your dad. When your dad was watching on Facebook, I watched it with my dad. And we both couldn't help but get emotional as we're listening to your dad basically talk to you in your ear. You know what I mean? Like stuff I would hear him say to you when you were playing high school ball, when you were playing for Northside Little League. So that was a little emotional, like that I felt. So I can just imagine, how proud and everybody was when that finally happened, man. And for me to share that moment with, my dad, your uncle, was huge, man, was a big thing. So thank you for that. Big ups to Uncle Abel. Big ups to, your mom, Elena, Serena, Josh. We heard them all in the background on that video. And
yeah, that was definitely a little different. I mean, I wish they could have been there. Obviously, they would have been there in any other circumstance.
Of course.
But being able to kind of, after it all happened, got to see the love from everyone. But then, seeing you got to see the live reaction from the Facebook Live. Being able to watch it there, it was like reliving that moment as if I was right here watching it with them, or if they were right in the stands cheering for me. So it definitely made up for it. So it was pretty cool.
Now let's talk about it. You became a meme. You went viral. You and Red Bull.
We're ready.
Check. So that moment, for those that aren't familiar with it, you're in the dugout, you're getting ready to go out to the mound. You smash a sugar-free Red Bull on your wrist, which you're probably going to do at the end of the segment. But what was going through your mind? Was that intentional? Like, what was your energy? What was what was going on with you at that time?
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Was it in the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it was just in the moment. I had
Is that something you
I mean,
usually do? You've done before?
yeah, I mean, in junior college, being out in the wilderness, you come across cans every once in a while and just slam them on your forearm, slam them on your leg, throw them against stuff. But I mean, that was all fun and games. But I mean, it was just we were in Atlanta in the bullpen. I was drinking my Red Bull. I think I opened it like in the fifth inning. Take a little sip here and there, and then once I got on the mound, like I was trying to get myself fired up, trying to get those nerves out of my system. And the end of that, or my second to last pitch, I took a nice little drink, and then that last pitch, I threw it. I mean, I didn't even hit the catcher; like it hit the backstop of the bullpen, and then I just chugged the rest of my Red Bull, slammed it to kind of fire myself up, and ran out to the field without thinking anything of it. And then I came back the next day. Everybody was like, "Dude, that was amazing! Like that fired us up." And so I was like, "Well, I mean, it fired me up too. So I guess and I did well. So I guess I got to do it from here on out." So it was just kind of something that didn't think much of, and it just happened to be a part of what I was doing.
Have you seen the challenges, like the people doing that on their arm, like the little kids and the moms doing that? Like, have you seen those videos?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen like a bunch like from people like all around, but I've had friends and send me videos like one of my high school teammates did one right before he hit a golf ball, and I mean that fired me up too. It was pretty cool to see.
There's somebody watching on here right now, and his son. So I don't know if you know Ricky Bencourt or the Bencourt family, but the youngest one, Maddie. So Maddie, the youngest one did that on his hand. I'm like, yeah, and I think he reacted to that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, he did a lot better than what other people have done it too. So I was pumped to see that.
Cousin Christina said she messed up her arm and told Manny about it. Manny told me to tell you about that. So there you go with that.
That's awesome. Yeah, Serena and Josh tried doing it, and they both got bruises on their arm. Serena came down this weekend, and she still had a bruise. It's been like a week and a half.
So, yeah, man. So here you are now, your rookie season. I mean, obviously, you're not just a role model for kids that played in Oxnard or Northside Little League or went to Oxnard High School or in Ventura County. You're like a role model for like basically everybody now, from college to, to Philadelphia to everywhere, man. So what kind of advice would you give to like those kids that are looking up to you right now? If you had to give any advice.
It all starts with work. Yeah, it all starts with work and, start developing a routine. Doesn't matter what age you are. You might not see like the effects or the progress right now, but as you get older, as you get, your body starts to develop more, you'll see all these little habits you created for yourself. It's going to take you a long way. And, that comes from, how my dad was with us when we were younger. It was, every time we played the game, we played it the right way. We took care of our bodies as far as making sure we were always stretched out. Something little like that. Make sure your arm was always stretched out. If your arm was sore, you weren't throwing at all, taking care of your arm, all those little things. And, it led to pretty much a healthy high school, college career. Haven't really had anything too crazy professional-wise. Little stuff here and there, stuff that happens throughout the season. But as far as my arm is concerned, it all came from, back then. And so developing that routine and, creating those good habits, and you'll see how long that'll take you, or how far that'll take you, I should say.
I love that, man. There's been some movement in management in your organization. Does that affect you at all? Do you know when, or is there any word on that?
No, I haven't really seen too much of that. I just saw the news. Was it yesterday or no Sunday? Oh, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday or Sunday. I saw it yesterday. And, I don't think it affects too much of us. I just know that, we had a good team last year, and so this coming year, we should have an even better team too. So I'm excited for what's going to come forward.
So, okay, obviously spring training, COVID, then the start again of the season. What's your takeaway of this year going into next year?
Yeah, it was a lot different. It wasn't a marathon, it was a foot race. And so being able to see how you could challenge yourself in that sprint sort of style of the season, and knowing that, I mean, we were at, I think I got on the, was it a couple outings at the alternate side, and then it's bam, right up to the big leagues. Like seeing how fast you can prepare yourself when you know something is coming. I mean, I think that showed me a lot, and I think that showed others a lot as well. That on the ring of a call that you can go up to the big leagues, and if as long as you've done the right work and you prepare yourself the right way, I mean, you can do well up there as well. So I think it's just continue to get back to what I was doing, as well as far as preparation wise. There's a couple other things that I learned being at that level, with the training staff and just playing at that level. So being able to adapt that to my off-season program, it should take me a long ways.
Well, I got to say this just on behalf of me, on behalf of not just the Romero family, not just Oxnard, but we're all very proud of you, man. Just seeing you from a little youngster, you know what I mean, to now doing this and living your dream. I can't help be more proud of you, and I know I speak for a lot of people, not just in the family, not just in Oxnard, but around the world. So thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely
your mom,
appreciate
your
it.
dad. Big up to Abel, big up to Elena, Josh, Serena, and of course you, and much success and good luck on future endeavors. And I'll see you at the Christmas party, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
All right, man. Yo, I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Yeah, sounds good. Have a good one. Thank you, guys.
All right, you too.